After Wingspan's incredible success, I wonder if its designer, Elizabeth Hargrave, felt like William Shakespeare after he wrote Hamlet. Will it ever be possible for her to design a game better than Wingspan? Well, I just played the Fox experiment that she created with Pandasaurus Games, and by the end of this video, I'll let you know my answer to this question, and I'll give you a complete look at this game in about 8 minutes. Thanks for checking out Legendary Tactics. So let's take a look at 5 categories for this game. We'll look at the mechanisms, we'll compare it to other games, we'll check out the components and the aesthetics, the theme, and the upside downside of the game to give you a balanced review. And thank you to Pandasaurus Games for providing a review copy of this game. Nonetheless, we'll always give you a balanced review so you know if this game is right for you and for your gaming group. And if you'd like to help out our channel, like, subscribe, and add your thoughts on this game in the comments. Let's begin with the mechanisms of the game. There is a lot to talk about with mechanisms. One of the biggest challenges with this game will be teaching players the rules. It's not that hard, but there are a lot of moving parts, and it does look a little daunting when you get into it. A lot of ways to score points in this game complicate it, and on the surface it appears to be quite long. It's 36 pages. But in reality though, they've given lots of space to pictures, headers, solo and 2-player rules, and some thematic text. So it's actually not very onerous. The game basically comes down to 3 elements. Number 1 is drafting your fox parents and choosing your turn order, and that's a lot of fun. Number 2 is breeding, which involves rolling a pile of dice to match traits that you want to encourage in your pups. And then 3, what they call the research phase, where all players simultaneously score points, collect bonuses, and upgrade their player mat. You do that 5 times, and the game is over. So it does seem complicated overall, but once you break it down into its constituent parts, it's not that bad. But perhaps the best part of the mechanism in this game is how much of the game is played simultaneously. Everybody's breeding or rolling their dice, researching or gathering and applying bonuses, and then cleaning up each phase simultaneously. I'll address this more in the upside down side of the video. I also need to briefly mention the dice mechanism, which makes this feel a little bit like a roll and write game. This isn't a game that feels heavily influenced by luck, even though it appears to have a lot of dice. The dice are not hit or miss rolls. Instead, they're more like crafting, where you match symbols. And some rolls are better than others, but your main goal in the game is to maximize your dice count so you improve your chances on hitting on the items you need or the traits you need. And I don't usually like dice mechanisms in a game, but I do love the tactile side of rolling them, so this game hits the mark perfectly with me. Thematically, we need to discuss something really cool about this game. What really appealed to my family is the theme. This is where this game really shines. And what I really love about this game is how the choices you make with your breeding program come directly back into play because your pups are put back into the kennel in the next round. And having named your pup, now you feel responsible for shipping the parents who bred them, and you feel like you want to bring that pup back as a parent. So for some players, they may actually choose a pup who isn't ideal for their strategy, but who feels just like a part of their family. Something I love too is how the concept of the game is built around the real-life 1958 experiment in the Soviet Union on animal domestication. In that experiment, the friendliest foxes who were chosen began to express spots, floppy ears, curly tails, and barking, which are traits that we associate with domesticated animals. And as you play the game, you'll find flavor text on the science cards that include facts about the real experiment. Number 3, components and aesthetics. I never really like components that are just little wooden cubes, and thankfully this game avoids that board game cliche. Instead, you have 40 wooden foxes for scoring. You've got a gear token for the turn order selection, dry erase markers so you can personalize your pups, a pile of tokens, and an absolute mother load of dice. The game certainly doesn't skimp on this. The iconography in the game seems complex and daunting at the beginning, but it's actually not that hard to read. The artwork is beautiful, as it always is with Elizabeth Hargrave's games. It's quite innovative to write directly on the cards with the dry erase markers. It makes it feel more personal. The oversized cards for the pups is also really nice. Lots to enjoy with this game. I do find the board to be a little bit busy though. Sometimes the foreground and the black background are meant to be blended together, and I think that's intentional. But this can be a little daunting because it's sometimes hard to spot what you need. You do need a super huge table to play this game with lots of room for dice, spreading out your foxes, and for organizing all of your player boards. Okay, so in terms of comparisons, I'm only going to compare this game to Wingspan. If you love Wingspan, I think you'll enjoy this one too. Like its predecessor, its nature aesthetic shines. As a scientist who's breeding foxes, it feels like there's a good reason to be playing the game. Like Stonemaier Games, this has many different ways to score points and offers a variety of valid pathways to victory. And really, I mean, it's a Pandasaurus game, but it still feels very familiar. This game will really need at least 3 to 4 players to shine. At the 2-player count, you need to include an automa, which actually slows down the gameplay and ramps up the complexity, so I would actually avoid doing that if I were in your shoes. Similar to Wingspan, there are some bonuses that you will get early on, and others that gain importance as the game progresses. And this makes players shift their strategy as the game evolves, and it makes it feel like this game has some acceleration towards the end. As you approach the game's end, it changes how you play. The Fox Experiment is definitely its own game, and it's not really a sibling, but more like an engine-building cousin to Wingspan. Let's look at the upside-downside. We always want to be sure we offer a balanced review, and we like to offer downsides that we see too. So much of this game will be based on self-imposed honesty. If you play with people who tend to bend the rules and need to be monitored, beware. It would be very easy for a dishonest player to cheat by flipping a much needed die over, or helping themselves to an extra token here and there, checking off an extra box on their pup for a crucial bonus. There's a lot going on, and players likely won't have time, nor should they need to monitor each other. My second concern would be the learning curve for some players. It's a little intimidating to jump into this one, not only because there are a lot of different elements, but all of these elements make the game more strategic and more engaging. But likewise, they might scare off light or medium weight gamers. I think medium weight gamers it should hit well with. My family handled their first game well, but there was definitely some confusion about where all of the scoring was going and how points were being won and who would win the game, and that's natural in a first game, but on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the most difficult, I'd say this game is somewhere in the range of about a 7. It's often hard to prune a board game collection down so they fit all into your storage space. But for me, this one has earned a place in my permanent collection. So to answer my initial question, will it be possible for Elizabeth Hargrave to create a better game than Wingspan? Well, I think it's going to depend on who's playing. Some gamers I know would absolutely enjoy this game more than Wingspan for both its theme and its mechanism. It's a much more tactile game, and it's also much more personal. When you name your pups, you can make real-life references into the game. You can pair up funny parent combinations. With the naming, players' personalities come into the game more than they would in Wingspan, and people connect with the game more. I would still give Wingspan the edge personally, but the Fox Experiment is an excellent game with a healthy amount of strategy and replayability. I appreciate you watching, and yes, I think it is possible to outdo Wingspan. Please come again when you can stay a little longer on Legendary Tactics.